once we get some of the sidebar conversations finished.
Microphone?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I do need the microphone. I need the microphone.
There you go, you're on. You're live.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. For the next 15 or 20 minutes, I want to spend some time talking a bit about the plans for the new parish hall. We're not doing any of the financials at this time. We're waiting until the end of our continuation of the capital campaign, which is the end of next week. And we hope that you've all had an opportunity to prayerfully consider your contributions and look forward to those. And in a couple of weeks into, say, mid-September, we will have another setting with just talking about the financial picture. Just a quick comment. We are making progress, believe it or not, on the narthex. They finished painting and putting up the trim work on Saturday night. And the tile people and the rug people are scheduled to be here next week. And so we'll have to stay off the tile for a little while, and get that lift out of here before we run over the tiles. And we will be, have access to that. I said sometime in the mid-August time frame, which I defined as the 1st to the 30th. So it may be first week in September. But if it's only that bad, I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, we'll have time for questions, and I'll try to answer everything. Our new parish hall has been a long time in coming. If you want to go with this. It's interesting if you go back and look at the original drawings and brochures about the sanctuary here. It was identified as, we're going to have a need for a new parish hall, which would be connected to the sanctuary. There have been numerous plans and studies over the years. As you can see, 7, 10, 13, 18. I've had the privilege and pleasure of being involved in all of those. And I finally figured out that somebody said, we're going to make you keep doing it until you do it right, and working hard at that. 3 main things came out of each one of those studies that we had. Number 1 was to build a parish hall. Number 2 was to hire an assistant priest. And thirdly, to pay off the mortgage. Now, we have made great strides on paying off the mortgage from where we started 12, 14 years ago. And we have an assistant priest joining us in the back there. And the third thing is to build a parish hall. That's what we're all about at this particular moment. Many different plans and iterations have been considered by various groups of people. I think probably in all those years we had 30 to 35 members of the congregation involved in things like needs analysis and what would look right and what would fit in with the architecture in Southport. And we approached it really in phases. The first phase was the removal of Park Hill, believe it or not, over 2 years ago. And if you had an opportunity to go over to Buckingham Street, look at the job that they had done on renovating, it was really very, very impressive. Carl Jorgensen House is going to be part of what we're planning to do, and let's go to this one. This is separate, as I mentioned, from the reconstruction work. I think it's really an opportunity to build on our future and provide space that we are lacking today. If any of you attended the reception for Bonnie Thomas yesterday, the tables took up about 50% of the room, the chairs took up 25% of the room, and then other people were just kind of walking around trying to find a place. So, provide some space that we desperately need, and finally make our campus more inviting. I think it will attract more members, and we're looking forward to that. What's planned? The plan is to build a 4,850 square foot parish hall. There will be an entry from the, I'm going to have to move back and forth. I got myself one of these slick little pointers. My friend David Forsyth has had one for months or years, and he keeps flicking it around and pointing out things to people, and I go like this. So I finally figured I'd do this one. I had a choice of getting one that had just a red dot, or there was one that had a mouse on it, and I decided I wouldn't do that. But I may buy that for David. Anyway, so much for the school. We're going to jump back and forth a little bit here, but there will be a covered portico coming in from Dry Street, which will come into the existing narthex doors that we have here. We will have a kitchen in the area, in the hall itself. There will be a very large area for people seated at tables, about 150, and then we can put about 200 in there in a meeting style. Attached to the parish hall will be a two-story admin classrooms, meeting rooms, choir room, and Eric, would you like to say a couple of words about the need for some administrative space?
Yes. I'll get the microphone. First of all, I want to say that we're blessed to have what we have since the hurricane hit. We're using the bottom floor of what really is a home. There are residents that live above us on the second story, and we get along very well with each other. That being said, as clergy and as a church offices, we have some very unique needs that perhaps aren't the same as might be needed in a business world. First of all, space. We have lots of stuff put into a little space. Our admin folks, Lorraine and Betty, are tripping over the trash cans that they have, and they only have one to share among the two of them because there's just not enough room. We struggle for storage space. In their office is the bathroom. So really, if you need to use the bathroom, I think I speak for Father TJ, I don't know, but we leave. You know, we come over here, we go over the parish hall, we go someplace else because it's just not really seemly to use somebody's office bathroom. Our offices, Father TJ's and mine, as clergy, we do a lot of confidential counseling. And what you will hear if you come especially to my office for confidential counseling is you'll hear a radio start playing in the room that's just outside my room, which is where Lorraine and Betty are. Because we have doors and walls that you can hear through very easily. So if you want to have privacy, they have to turn up the radio. So when they turn the radio up and somebody comes in to visit, they're trying to talk over the radio to the visitors while we're in our office trying to do counseling. It's not working real well. It's functioning, it's not professional. Again, for Father TJ and myself, and this may sound self-serving, but it's really serving the community of St. Philip's, we have no place to put our resources. Our resources are back in our homes. Our homiletic resources, our Bible study resources, our resource library, all of my books, all of my stuff that I've brought with me, it's in my house someplace. And I don't have a place in my house to unwrap it all, so a lot of it's still in boxes. And you can ask Sue how many times I go back and I go through the 8 different boxes or 10 different boxes trying to find this and that. Ultimately, it's important that we get new administrative and clerical offices. One last note is because the office we have now, which again we're very thankful for and is functional, it's separated from the campus. And this week alone, we've been out on the porch or on the sidewalk trying to flag somebody down who's coming to visit because they have a hard time finding the office. So we're outside trying to help them come in. I won't even go into how hard it is for the mail to get to us or for, like, for example, when we did the lobster sales and people were dropping stuff off over here because they couldn't find us over there. So it's critical that we can move forward on that, and we're really looking forward to what is here on the plans for clerical offices and for administration offices.
Thank you very much. as he mentioned, and I want to tell you that we talked about the one with Lorraine and Betty tripping over a trash can, and I said that's really a vision. So, but it is a little crowded over there. We will have a kitchen in the parish hall. There will be a nursery directly above that, and I'll show you the floor plan for the second floor in just a minute. This will be the administrative area, office for the rector, the parish administrator, the assistant, conference room, reception area, and a work area for people that need to come in there and have access to some of the things we keep in the office, such as our treasurer. There will be an elevator that will get from the first floor to the second floor up there, which will make that area up there a whole lot more accessible for people that are physically challenged. And it will connect to the main sanctuary, and this will be the north exit. So there'll be a substantial amount of room for us to use. We'll go to the next one. The next one is the 2,460-foot car, replacing the car Jorgensen. It's have clergy and staff offices. We are putting in, I believe, 4 family-type restrooms, which can be used by men or women. The second floor will have education and meeting rooms, have a library, choir room, and all the rooms are multi-purpose, and the 3 buildings will be connected to each other. We're not going to do anything with the chapel and parish hall other than get the reconstruction finished on that. We're showing you a couple of different things. We've had a picture of the outside of the parish hall over in the back corner of the sanctuary for a couple of weeks. And it's a 2-dimensional one because we want to save some money and not spend $1,000 to get a 3D rendering. But we do have a 3D rendering over here that you can look at, and it basically shows exactly what we're going to have with the portico out here. The neat thing about the portico, it's going to be large enough so if the weather is cooperative, most of the time you can have things outdoors here in this area. So we'll have both the seating inside the parish hall, but also some outdoor seating, so we can seat another 40 people there. The top version over there is 2-dimensional drawing of the Moore Street, what it would look like from there. The bottom elevation, here's the sanctuary, parish hall, and the 2-story office building. I should have put this plan up here before, but this is the second floor, again with a choir room, meeting rooms, education rooms, a library. The nursery will be up there on the second floor, and we're going to have a clergy robing area. If any of you participate in any of the services, it gets a little crowded with 8 to 10 people in the back closet here. So we're going to take what is known as the junior warden's junk room and make that a clergy robing area. Flip the next one. Now I've just got some plans and just trying to show you exactly what they will look like. There will be modifications to the interior as we move through things, as with any building project. When you get there and you start to see the walls being put up, you can change your mind. Hopefully we won't have too many changes, and this will be the very close to the final configuration. Now, go ahead, one more I think we had. Again, this is the second floor. And I'd like to thank Deborah Miller for working very diligently to get these into into a PowerPoint presentation so we can use those. And I think now that's about what I have to say, but I'd be happy to answer questions. I'm sorry? We are going to start hopefully this fall. A lot depends on the success of our capital campaign. There will be a mortgage, you know, the size of that to be determined. We were also planning to pay off the old mortgage, but that's, you know, that's more the financial side we'll talk about in a couple of weeks. Construction time is between 12 and 14 months. So with any luck, we could be, you know, in there by next, you know, December of 2020. And that would be a really great thing if we could get there. There will be things like garbage disposal things out there in the yard for a while. There'll probably be a couple of construction trailers just to the left of the pathway coming in from the Dry Street area. It'll be a construction site, but you can, you know, we'll try to take pictures and make sure that everybody can see as much as possible. Ruth? Says it keeps me off the streets, so, which is very important. Just, yes, go ahead.
I was just wondering, what's the situation with Carl Jorgensen?
Carl Jorgensen, we have someone that has expressed an interest in removing the front portion of Carl Jorgensen. We are currently in negotiations with that individual, and hopefully, you know, that will be successful. Worst case scenario will be we will have to just have it demolished. But we are trying to find somebody that's willing to save it. One of the biggest problems you have with a two-story building around here is trying to get it through all the trees, or by the trees. And so they're very concerned about that. Although when we moved the Park Hill house, we did cut the top off. And I don't know if you've ever watched these house builders work. It's really incredible what they do with their hydraulic jacks and everything else. And you wonder, you know, is that thing going to stay, you know, hold together? But they managed to do it, so we're working very diligently on that. If you'd like to consider buying it, I'll be more than happy to talk to you. It's been a long labor of love, but we're getting there. And you know, let's face it, Hurricane Florence didn't help us at all. Very, very extensive damage to all of our buildings, and we were fortunate in being able to find an office, even though it's not perfect, as close as we were able to find it. One of our members of our church is leasing that to us. And we're getting there. And hopefully we'll get this finished, you know, like I said, mid-August. And we will be back and have this set up. We've got a design for the rafters in the chapel. We had to tear the whole ceiling down. And quite frankly, it's a miracle that things stayed up, because there were basically 4 iron pipes and 4 to 6 washers that were holding that whole ceiling down. It really was a great situation. But it's coming good. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Bill, are there going to be any funds left to do landscaping? I mean, look at these trees, that gutter's already full of leaves.
There will be landscaping done as part of the final.
Will we get rid of some of these trees?
I'm not sure I would go fight that battle. there's a lot of people that are still upset about the fact we had to take 2 trees down to move the parking lots. So,
I know the landscaping job, people have done a very good job under the circumstances.
all right,
We should thank them.
appreciate that. Anyone else? Well, as I said, we hope that you will prayerfully consider what you've been able to give and what you might be able to give in the future. We look for a large participation. I think it's a great thing that we're looking at, and we're going to get there eventually. If not, I'll be around, and Bill Carney is here, and he can also answer some questions. And we've had about 8 or 9 people on the building committee that have been working diligently for the past 12 months, actually before that, to make this all come together. And you think it doesn't look like much, but many different meetings with architects and with other churches, to help determine what is really needed. So, thank you all very much.